In an effort to grow this channel, this video is the first of a series called If I Were Smart. These topics will reflect on valuable lessons learned from decisions that I made that, if I were smart and had the opportunity to do it all over again, I may have done things a bit differently. Where did I get the phrase, if I were smart? From my dearly departed dad. He used to say this phrase quite often in moments where he reflected, and if he had things to do all over again, he may have done it differently. Kind of stuck. I didn't think it was a funny phrase until when I was a senior enlisted guy in the military, and I used the phrase, if I were smart, and this Master Chief called me out on it. He laughed. He's like, what's that phrase you just said? You said, if I were a smart man? And I went, no. If I were smart, I would have done this differently. It's one of those things that you really don't even know is funny until someone sheds light on it. This, If I Were Smart series, is an opportunity for you to learn from my mistakes. So, to make yourself smarter, please be sure to like and subscribe. Over 2 years ago, I signed up for solar power. Was it a good choice? Spoiler alert! If I were to go back in time and have it to do all over again, I'd take a hard pass. In this video, I'm going to be completely transparent with you and tell you our story as it continues to unfold today, and explain our rationale of why we decided to go solar in 2020 after buying a new construction house. Then go into the timeline from the time we made this decision back in 2020 until today. And I will break down the numbers, the real numbers, from the cost of the solar, the financing, the monthly payments, and the cost of electricity for my provider before and after getting the solar. I will also explain some of the unanticipated challenges that occurred along every step of the way. I will share how much I received in kickbacks from the solar company and by selling my excess solar power in the form of solar renewable energy credits, or SRECs. I have all the numbers, and we'll do all the math with real data to help you decide if solar is right for you. Now, let's get started. Hello everybody, thank you for joining me. This is my presentation, why I regret going solar. Now, the reason why I did this in PowerPoint, because there's a lot of data. There's a lot to go through in this, and I want to share it with you as effectively and efficiently as possible. Yeah, we're going to kick the timeline off. This is May 29th of 2020. My wife and I, we bought the house we live in now, and we had a new roof. We figured we have a new house. If we're going to go solar, now's the time to do it. So that's the reason why we decided to go solar. Hey, like I said, new roof, new house. Now's the time to start the process for going solar. Our initial thought was Tesla. That's the way to go. Big company, it's going to be around, reputable. We bought a Tesla Model 3 in 2018, and we absolutely love that vehicle. The best vehicle that we've ever owned. Very impressed with the technology. It didn't run up our power bill real high to where that was a big motivator. It just seemed like if we could save some money, if we can possibly, regulate our electrical energy bill, why not go solar? Why not? Why not go with Tesla? It's reputable. We got on the waiting list. We were on that waiting list for well over a year. Yeah, we're on that waiting list for about a year with Tesla, and we got a visit from Noble Solar. And the salesman came to our house, and it was right after we got on the list. We're like, no, we're already on the waiting list. We're into solar. We're all about it. We're going to get it. We're just not. We've already signed up. We're on the waiting list. And the guy's like, okay. And then he checked back with us about a year later. And then we're like, we're still waiting. And we hadn't really heard anything from Tesla. They didn't do any communication whatsoever. It was really disappointing. I kind of did some research, and from my research, it seemed like they had to have a certain number of houses to commit to Tesla Solar. And then they would devise like these tiger teams that would go to each area and actually install the solar. So that was the whole process we're kind of waiting for, but we're probably going to get a power wall If we had a Powerwall, we were thinking if we have a Powerwall that stores the electricity, we won't need a generator. If we lose power, we'll have backup power in our battery. So we really were about that. And then this guy kind of talked us out of that. He's like, well, if you haven't heard from them in a year when you're a willing customer, how responsive are they going to be when you have a problem? And we were like, good point. And that really opened our minds up to Noble Solar. So March 27th, I signed the contract to have solar installed at my house. It is financed by Dividend Finance, 0.99% APR, and the total financed amount was $37,506.85. And after full payoff, everything, I'll pay $42,444 is the amount total, with interest and everything accrued over like 25 years. So what do we get? I'll tell you what we got for $37,506.85 to Noble Solar. We got 20 panels, produces 7.4 kilowatts of power. The panels are manufactured by Silfab. It's a single-phase inverter manufacturer is Solar Edge. Solar Edge is a cool little app. I'm going to show you a graphic of the output. It's on my phone. I can tell you at any given time how much solar is being produced with this app. It's financed through Dividend Finance, like I mentioned before, at 0.99% APR, annual percentage rate. And for the first 15 months, it was $105.36. And then it jumps to $142.65 for the rest of the life of the loan. December 2023, it started paying that $142.65 a month. So at first it seems like, oh, it's not so bad, but then it jumps. $105, it's not bad, and you're paying zero most months to your local electric company. And then, it seems really cool. So you have that, what I think is that positive reinforcement, so you get other people to get this testimony. This thing's working nicely. I haven't gotten a power bill. My power bill is usually about $150. I paid zero. So it is very compelling, how they kind of get you in there. You don't really look at the contract too closely, and all of a sudden you're paying more. So, I do kind of remember that. They don't hide it, but they don't really put it up there in the forefront either. So annually I pay $1,711.80 for the solar finance only. That does not count my electric bill, which I'm going to get into a little later. So here we are on the timeline right here. We closed on our new construction, our house that we live in, on the 29th of May of 2020. March 21st, 2022, we signed the contract to get our solar installed. How long do you think that takes? It takes about 4 months for the installation to actually occur. And then how long do you think it's going to be until it's fully functional? Oh, it's another over 5 months of waiting. So we signed the contract to have solar March 21st of 2022. We didn't actually turn it on, and it wasn't fully functional until December 27th of 2022. Now, there's going to be a period, I'm going to get into this too, where we're paying for our solar financing, that $105 a month, and we're paying our Dominion power bill simultaneously. I'm going to get into how they kind of address that in the solar industry as well, to make it a little more palatable. And it comes with solar incentives. I was a little naive, I admit, going into this whole evolution, this process, and I had some basic expectations that really they were assumptions. I would probably classify them more of assumptions of things that were going to be done, things that were going to happen that a lot of times did not happen. My first assumption is that basic and reliable customer service and proactive communication would occur. So as you saw before in the last slide, it was like 7 months from the time we signed the contract until we actually were able to produce solar energy. I did not expect it to take 7 months. And some of it's also to do with city permits, inspections, working with the solar or the electric company, Dominion Power. All these people had to have their hands in the whole process and everything like that. And then there was a point, I'm going to get into this later as well, where it was not installed like they were. The company Noble did not install it the way they said they were going to install it, and the city balked on it and says, no, you need to install it the way you have it here, or resubmit your plan for installation. So they resubmit a plan to reflect what they installed, and then they had to wind up taking the apparatuses and stuff off the side of my house and reinstalling that at a different position. So there's these holes that are in the side of my house. I'm going to get into that later as well. So that's some of the challenges that we kind of incurred doing this. But the reliable communication, I figured there'd be somebody, some kind of customer service rep to hey, here's where you're on the process. You're in step 1. There's these 10 steps to get you solar power. You're in step 1. Step 1 is getting the permits and stuff approved with the city. We're in this phase right here. Oh, congratulations, you're now in step 2. We're scheduling the time to come and install your cell. I thought it'd be something like that, but it was not like that. We had to actually be very proactive in trying to communicate with them, and it's hard to reach them a lot of times. And something I did that I think was smart was I wound up Facebook friending both the salespeople I dealt with that signed me up. I have a lot of fun on Facebook. I like to network on there as well. I consider it an asset. A lot of people hate social media. They hate Facebook because of this or that, because of censorship. I like it overall. I like it for how I use it, to keep in touch and have fun with it and things like that, and network. It can be a valuable tool in that regard. In this experience, it was pretty valuable. So there were times we could not get a hold of anybody at the customer service number. We could not get anybody to respond to our emails. And so we would go to the people who sold us the solar, and they would make sure people contacted us. So that helped a lot. I'm still Facebook friends with those guys, but they don't work for this company anymore because the company is out of business. So there's nobody to even call about that. We're going to get into that too a little later. I also expected the only bill to be through solar pretty much. Maybe an occasional like $10 bill here and there for admin fees for Dominion Power, my electric provider. I thought it'd be a fixed bill. I thought it'd just be me paying for the solar, and the solar's going to provide all my energy. I thought I would produce more energy than I would use, and I would be able to sell that back. Always heard about that. I'm going to talk about that a little later. I did do some of that. I didn't think we'd be subjected to possible. This is one of the reasons why I did it. We'd not be subjected to possible increased power rates. So this is a big motivator for me. Like if I can pay $142 a month, it started to be $105, went to $142 for the next 25 years. The way inflation is going, that was a big selling factor in my mind, because I'm like, who's to say what electric costs are going to be in 5-10 years from now? So that was a big motivator for me to convert to solar. So that should probably be on the slide. It was like, why did I go to solar? But that was an expectation I had. Expected the solar system would be professionally installed first, the right time. Like I said before, it was not installed first. They had the wrong plans submitted to the city. They had to resubmit it. It slowed down the whole process. And then it was installed wrong. Somebody called them out on that. They had to pull everything out of the side of my house and reinstall it. There was these holes with silicone filling them in. I got pictures of it. I'm going to show you shortly. It's fixed now, but it took a while. It's really took a lot of proactive communication to get them to do what was the right thing when they were still in business. And then I did expect to be able to sell my solar with the extra electricity produced, which has happened. That was an expectation that was met. The solar system would work longer than 18 months. Like right now, it's not working fully at all. That's what motivated me to make this video, to warn people. My solar, I just started using it in December 27th of 2022. Now it's September 2nd of 2024. I've gotten 3 fairly significant power bills from Dominion Power, ranging from $120 to over $150 the past 3 months. I am producing some solar, but probably about a fraction of what I should be producing, and I'm getting power bills. And we don't keep our house very cold. We set our thermostat during the day about 76, and then at night when we go to bed, we set our one thermostat to 73 as we're going to sleep. So it's nice to be nice and cool with the ceiling fan on. We're going to sleep, so we don't, and we're in a very energy efficient house as well. So it's something that the builder was very proud of when he sold us this house, about how energy efficient this house was. So, but it's disappointing. I'm going to talk about the challenge I'm having now for sure in the coming slides. And I also expected that if the solar system did not work, then we would have a warranty that somebody would make it right. I also kind of assumed the company wouldn't go out of business within 2 years of me using their service. So there's a lot of assumptions, a lot of expectations there, and I'm going to get into reality next. Okay, in reality, let's see. Communication was a lot of effort. I think I alluded to that before. The system was installed and then reinstalled. I mentioned that before as well. They ripped off the equipment from the side of the house and they moved it down about 2 feet and then reapplied it, reinstalled it. Also, an increased pigeon population. You know, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but these pigeons, apparently they like the warmth between like your roof and the solar panels. They like to nest in there. And we have all these freaking pigeons, and what complications that provide? Well, our neighbor's driveway has pigeon poop and feathers in it all the time. So it doesn't really affect me directly, but my neighbors is kind of not cool for them. And my neighbors, I referred them to this solar program, and the pigeons do the same thing to their neighbors. Their neighbors threw a fit about it and expected them to do something about it. So what my neighbors did is they actually paid like a few $1,000s to have someone go up there and put some mitigating, some kind of mitigating measure around the panels to prevent pigeons from making an attractive place for them to kind of hang out. So I didn't have that kind of money, so I didn't choose to do that along with them. So something to be aware of. Something I wasn't even aware as an option, as a possibility, until I kind of did a little research after it started happening. I was like, man, there's a lot of pigeons around my house all of a sudden. It's a thing. Right now, we are currently paying for electricity, like I alluded to before, and solar. I'm paying that $142 for my solar every month, plus, a pretty significant bill, which I'm going to get into the exact numbers here in the coming slides for my electric bill as well. I didn't expect Noble Solar to go out of business, and the owner is not responding to my correspondence. I found the owner on social media, on LinkedIn and Facebook as well. I tried to connect with him on both those platforms. This was a week ago. Have not heard anything from him. Just heard crickets. That's it. And then I can pay for this problem I'm having now where the solar is not working 100%. I could pay this company $3,000 to fix the issue. They gave me a quote, basically, an invoice says, hey, we can take care of the issue, but it's going to cost you $3,000 and we'll take care of it. So I'm still trying to decide on that. I'm undecided, so I'll just keep paying both bills until I kind of figure something out. If there's somebody else that can make this right or for less money or what. So even with the solar working, we pay more each year for solar than with just our electric bills. And again, I'm going to show you these numbers, these factual numbers. So here we go. Okay, here's my power bill. This is the first set number. I'm going to throw a lot of numbers at you that are real. This is a screen grab straight from my bill pay on my bank account. And so there's back in 2022, it was like a $235 power bill, December 2022. Let's see. It's not, it's September, September. So that's after a hot August of 2022. Before I had solar, $235 is about as high as my bill ever got right there. And then once my solar was turned on in 2022, my first bill, I guess is that January bill, was $69.58. So it's producing some good solar because it was like late in December when that solar was activated. Plus it's winter. I'm not using electricity. I have gas heat. So that's something else to consider when you see these bills. But I was still paying for some electricity, even in February, $126 of 2023. And then I got two bills that month. I got one for $126 and one for $95. And I think there was a snafu with the power company because I remember getting some kind of rebate back from them. I don't remember the details, but I think there's a lot of people overcharged and when we got double billed and that kind of thing. So I wouldn't pay that too much credence until things kind of like level out in 2023. So I had no bill from March to September of 2023. And then I got a bill in October of 2023. It looks like two bills, an $8 bill and early in the month. Actually, it's the same month, $8 and $89. For some reason, I got billed twice. Again, these utility companies, sometimes they get weird accounting, and then they're like, oh, you owe us this $8. And then, oh, here's your regular bill, $89. So it happens, and that seems to be where things kind of got a little wonky. But I thought, okay, it's an overpayment because then I don't have any bill from November through June. And then in June, actually July of this year, of 24, is my first big electric bill since I had solar, really. Since the solar was activated, I got a $127 bill. And then the following month in August, I thought, okay, maybe it's one of those weird things, utility company. I didn't really worry too much about it. And then the next month, I got that $157 bill in August for the month of July. I was like, whoa, my solar's obviously not working, or at least not working to full capacity. Okay, and right here is a look. I did a screen grab of this month's bill. I just got this bill just the other day from Dominion Power, Dominion Energy. and it was for $140.75. So I'm still paying that, and I'm paying my dividend bill, which is a snapshot on the right. It's my dividend bill for $142.65. So right now I'm paying $283.40 a month for electricity and solar. So now, as you can see here, I'm getting a headache. This is freaking ridiculous. I'm paying for a solar after I use it for 18 months. It's failing me, obviously. So I'm going to break down. Let's say theoretically that solar was working perfectly fine. I was paying zero, which has not been the case, and I've only had it working for about 18 months, and now it's not even working. So my annual power bills with Dominion at the highest, I'd say that 2022 year was my last year without any solar whatsoever. That $1,470. That's the most I've paid in a year for electricity without solar. And you look at my solar payments, $142.65 times 12 months. That's more than I paid for my electricity. That $1,470. That's $1,711.80. So just that alone makes it not a good deal. And then you compound the complications of my life. But then again, there are SRECs and things like that that help that number a little bit. But my thing is simplicity. If I can live life simple and just pay my electric bill and not have to worry about having these contraptions on my roof, drilled into my roof and things where there could be more complications and stuff, where I have to pay $3,000 every 18 months for it to keep working, wouldn't be that big of a deal. But you're going to see those incentives that I got through that solar incentive program, the referrals, and through SRECs. All that adds up to about what I have to pay to get this thing working again. Now here are some screen grabs I got from the former CEO of Noble Solar, and his name is Samuel Hampsch, and I'm going to highlight some things here. If you notice right here, this is from my Google search. It permanently closed. I put a circle around that, and right there he describes himself on LinkedIn as a mostly successful CEO. Well, I guess Noble Solar was that one exception maybe to make it mostly successful. I don't know, but anyway, I'm going to highlight something else. I try to connect with him on LinkedIn. It's pending, and I try to link up with him on Facebook. That's pending as well. I sent him a message. That's going to be my next slide. Right now, I'm going to show you the message I sent to the CEO here, the former CEO of Noble Solar. Okay, what prompted this right here is I had success. I had problems with Solar Edge, the app that I use to monitor my solar. Solar Edge had the wrong address on the app. I'm like, this is showing my neighbor's address, the neighbor that I referred to Noble Solar to install solar on their house. And so I had a real big concern. I tried calling Solar Edge, and it just takes you to a phone tree. And every option it has to talk to a human being, it doesn't ever connect you to a human being. It just hangs up on you. And then I tried using a chat feature they have on their website. And again, it never gives you a chance to talk to a human being. It's all AI. It's all like, what's your problem? You have to click an option. And if that option is not one, your problem's not one of those options, they can't address it. There's never a way to talk to a human being. So my solution, I finally figured out, is go to LinkedIn, find one of the big wigs within the company. Solar Edge is a pretty big company, and just send a personal message to that person saying, hey, how do I talk to a human being? I tried it even on X. I tried tagging them on X. I tried tagging them on Facebook on their own page on one of their posts they made like a week ago. I say, hey, I want to talk to a human being. Nobody ever even responded to that. And so I found this person, and like within minutes, this lady, she PM'd me back, says, I will get somebody, because I put on the PM my address and my phone number and my name. I put everything on there. And she says, somebody will call you very shortly. And then she followed up to make sure I got the phone call. And long story short, I had the wrong address on that app, but it was my data that was on the app. So everything I was seeing was reflecting my solar, but it just wasn't accurate address is all. And they updated that address for me, that person who called me from like California. So from that success, I was like, I'm going to try that with a former Noble Solar CEO to see if he had any advice. I'm not even asking him to like, hey dude, make this right. as you can see right here, I'm going to read it for those of you that can't, or maybe just listening. On August 27th, this is what I sent early in the morning. I sent a short note on LinkedIn, but it looks like you probably don't monitor that site much. So I'm going to double tap you on here too. The bottom line up front, or the bluff, is I have had my solar installed by your company since July 22nd, 2022. It was fully operational very late December 22. I now know that's 27 December 2022. As of today, I've received 2 electric bills in a row, now it's 3, of about $150. This was new. I was accustomed to seeing a zero bill for several months, so I thought the first one was a fluke counting thing. And then when I saw the second one for more, I started asking around about a way ahead. One company was responsive, Soul Orphanage. They said, it seems that you have a string issue, and offered to fix it for $3,000. This was very disappointing news. I know Noble is defunct. Do you have a suggestion for a way ahead? Does Soul Orphanage option seem fair? And that's a legit question. Does that seem? I don't know if that's fair. I don't know if this guy. I mean, it might be my only way ahead. And if any of you have any expertise in this and have any advice, I please welcome you to please share that advice in the comments of this video. Here's some other data as well. I just want to throw this out there. I provided 2 referrals. Like within like the first month of me signing the contract, I got 2 of my neighbors. I was excited. I put it on Facebook how excited I was to be getting solar. Two or three of my neighbors was asking me about it. 2 actually followed through and got solar as well. And I got $500 for each of the referrals. It seems kind of crappy now since I'm not having a good experience anymore. I kind of regret it. And so hopefully they don't have the same issues I do. And also I received $1,764.32 for the solar incentive program, and $500 of that was a military rebate because I'm retired Navy. So I got that as well. And like I said a couple times, this system was not installed correctly the first time. They had to take all the equipment off the side of my house and reinstall it, which was a little annoying. They promised the new equipment wires and wire housing would be painted to match our siding. It took a lot of prodding over time to get this done. So they put this equipment on there, and they promised that they would paint it to match our siding. My wife was adamant about this. To me, it wasn't a huge deal, but she was followed up on them consistently, probably for a couple months before they sent somebody here to paint it and make it right. But it is right in that regard now, but it just was not easy to get done. The city disapproved the setup for nonconformity of the plans provided. I alluded to this before as well. So there was a big delay in getting our solar activated because of that. And that equipment being removed and reinstalled left 10 holes, and as you're going to see on the next slide, in our siding that they had to fill in with silicone and kind of paint over and all that kind of stuff. And for a few months, even when I first signed the contract and before it was operational in December, I was paying Dividend and Dominion at the same time for solar activation. Now, the Noble folks would say, well, that's the reason why you get the solar incentive program. You get the $1,700 to help kind of soften that blow of paying 2 bills for several months, for 6 months or so, until you start seeing like 0 or very small bills from Dominion Power. And then that increased pigeon population issue is also a factor to be thrown in as well. Yeah, right here are the holes. This is a wide shot of the equipment and how they took it from that height to I guess to where the height where it is now. And these are some closer up shots of the silicone they threw in the holes. It was like that for probably a while, probably a few months before they, I guess, sanded it down and painted it like they were supposed to. And then the birds, those birds from my camera. So they don't just stay on the house; they're kind of around the area of the house. They're on the power lines and stuff like that. And right now, that look on my face says, "This isn't too cool." And I haven't even started using solar yet at this point. And here's my current situation. Right now, my solar is not even working, but maybe a fraction. I got a graph coming up next slide that's going to kind of break down what's being produced. but it's a fraction of what was produced last year. Is what it is right now. So for the past 3 months, I've been billed by Dominion Power $127, then $157, and $140 this month, and I'm still paying my dividend finance for the solar panels. I'll be paying that until like 2047. And SolarEdge shows a significant year-over-year decrease of production. And again, Solar Orphanage on August 15th, they sent me an invoice that said they will fix this string issue that seems to be the problem for $3,000. And I'm still in the deciding phase. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. We're coming to the cooler months, so it's not like, oh my God, I need to do this, or I'm going to pay like hundreds of dollars every month in perpetuity. It's not the case. I have time to breathe and think about it. So that's where I am right now. And this is how I feel about this. Boom. It's a pain. Look at that. The blue is last year's solar production, and the green is this year's solar production. So January of 2023 and 24, it's not much of a difference, not much of a drop. And then in March, you see a pretty significant drop. And then in May, it really drops. So, and in July, it's like half. I'm only producing like half of what I should. So, what happened there? Oh, and right here is my solar incentive program today. I've gotten $3,372 to date in incentives between the 1764 and the two referrals, and I've gotten SRECs twice, $418 and $190. Altogether, $3,372, and it looks like $3,000 of that could possibly be going to Solar Orphanage to fix my string issue to get me 100% again, so I'm not paying two bills. Okay, I got some conclusions and some lessons learned through all this. Hopefully this helps you out. If you go solar, go with a reputable installer that is proven and has a sustained track record. Something that somebody's maybe used for more than 18 months. Maybe a friend is can articulate why their experience was good. So they're out there, I'm told, and I'm going to finish this presentation up with some testimonials from some of my Facebook friends that were kind of like surprised with my negative experience and my bad attitude because they've had good experience. So it's might be for you, but I feel so damaged from this experience. I would not do it again if I were to do it all over again. If I were smart, I would not do this again. The flying critters like living in the area between your solar panels and roof. They're annoying. I would think that the solar companies would recognize this and put those mitigating measures. They sell it. I've seen it at Walmart. These little spiky things they put around the solar panels to prevent those critters from getting in there. Wasn't even mentioned by Noble Solar or any of those folks. If you like simple and uncomplicated, solar's not for you. So like that SolarEdge, I don't like to look at that thing 24/7. I didn't notice that the address was wrong on it until I started having problems with it in the past month or so, past couple months. So, if you like uncomplicated and simple, solar's probably not for you. Those SRECs, they're cool. You can get paid. You can really get paid from your solar production, but figuring all that out, how to use the market and sell it and get the best price for it, I don't know how to do that personally. I had a friend show me some YouTube videos on it. It seemed very complicated, and the SRECs I sold, the company actually approached me through an email. Says, hey, we can do it for you. Just click here, put in this information, boom, 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 and we got it. So I did that. I probably don't get the best price for it, but I'm getting something, and it doesn't require anything from me. I'm all about simplicity in my life. So when a company still in business fails to respond, contact their leadership on social media. I learned that through the SolarEdge folks. So if you are having problems talking to a human being with some of these companies, look at LinkedIn, look at Facebook, look at those things, and I think LinkedIn is probably a better way to communicate for professional reasons. People tend to like have a presence on there that are career minded. Other concerns are if these guys probably installed my panels wrong, had to reinstall the system, what possible damage could be happening on my roof when they penetrated to install solar. My concern there is I saw some other videos of people that had issues, bad experiences with solar, is that they had some damage to their roof. Like there was like leaks and stuff going on. And sometimes these leaks are not even known for a long time until it's really a big problem. So that's a concern in the back of my mind. So I'm thinking if they couldn't install the stuff on the side of my house correctly, who's to say they did it on my roof correctly, especially since it's not working after only 18 months. So real big concerns on my part. So something to learn from my experience. Yeah, these are some screenshots from some of my network on Facebook, and I made this post. It's only for the friends, as you can tell right here. So it wasn't a public post, but pretty much that first day when I realized that I was going to pay $3,000 to fix this problem, a problem that I don't think I should have in just 18 months of using the solar. I just had to warn, I had to yell to my network, if anyone out there is planning to get solar, please talk to me first. I will probably talk you out of it. Bad decision on my part. I will share more later. And this is me sharing everything. Very transparent. I'm giving you hard numbers. I'm doing the math for you. I'm telling you what I experienced. And I kind of showed the responses on here. And I'll tell you, a lot of people actually like solar. They have solar. They have good experiences with it. And I kind of hid their names. So I'm not sure if they want to be out there on YouTube. So just for their privacy, I kind of like redacted who they are. But a lot of people remember me like raving about solar when I first got it. I was very excited. I was very positive when it was sold to me. My first friend's like, that sucks. I've known a few folks that love their solar, love mine, but interested in what happened. Me too. I've been wanting to do solar for my shop. I'll be listening. So people are listening to me. I got like over 4,300 friends on Facebook. So I got a bigger presence on Facebook than I do on YouTube. I think I got 89. So be sure to subscribe to beef those numbers up, and I'll keep bringing content. But some people, like here's another person says, I did it. It has saved me a lot in my electric bill. And again, that's that person's experience and my experience. Even if this thing was fully functional, working perfectly, I wouldn't be really saving anything. I'd probably be spending more unless I really nickel and dime those SRECs that I'm selling back. And I do the math on that solar incentive program that they gave me at the very beginning. I don't know, but I wouldn't do it again. We did, and then somebody responded to like save me a lot of my electric bill. We did too. And I'm grateful because we are now 100% EV household as well. So they're good for them. I have an EV, but again, that Tesla that I have does not take up a lot. Didn't make a big difference in my power bill. I've had that Tesla for 6 years now, and I've had solar for 18 months, so I haven't really seen anything spectacular as far as increased power bills from that Tesla, because I charge it at night when electricity demand is low, and electricity rates are lower. So I think that's why. But yeah. I paid $240 for the solar panels, but my bill dropped more than that. This time of year, it was $400 to $500 a month. Wow, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever paid $400 to $500 a month for electricity. Now it's just shy of $100. In the winter, my bill was $1,000 to $1,300. So they must have electric heat. So that was a big difference. Now it's around $500. Not saving as much as I had hoped, but a couple hundred every month. Plus, I got around $12,000, I believe, from both state and federal for having it installed. So there's the tax incentive as well that they kind of tout as well. And something I saw in a few other videos of people complaining about this, like if you don't pay taxes, like not everyone pays taxes. Some people in a lower income tax bracket. Some people have families and kids, a lot of deductions. So they don't pay a lot of taxes. I pay a good bit of taxes. I'm an empty nester. My kids are grown. So I think I did take advantage of that. I'm not sure how much. I have an accountant that does that for me. So that might have been a way I might have saved as well, but I don't know. Was it worth it? I don't know. Let's see, I'm interested in your experience. So many horror stories in Texas, including houses going up in flames. Wow. A friend of mine who owns a roofing company says it's a major PITA on insurance claims due to hail. Oh shit! I guess hail kind of like damages the solar panels, and then you have to get those repaired. Something I didn't even think of. Sometimes it hails here in Virginia. Sometimes. We went solar about almost 3 years ago until this year. We used to not have a bill and produce more than we use. This summer has been ridiculously hot, and our HVAC has been running nonstop even during the night. So this summer is the first in almost 3 years we've had to pay for electricity. We typically would go into the fall with a bonus of $600 or more. This year we will likely have just a low bill, as we've been paying almost $200 a month since June, and we were used to paying nothing. So, I don't know. It seemed like they're kind of like, it's kind of good for me. They don't seem real excited about it, but it seems like it might be saving them a little bit of money. They're still paying for electricity, though. I didn't expect that, but I'm not sure what area of the country that is. It could be Texas or somewhere like that, or California, where it's probably more expensive, because I know California has power issues. So, and it tends to be more sunny there than about anywhere else in the U.S. So, like California and maybe Florida, things like that, it probably does make a lot of sense to do solar. And there probably are companies that are a lot more reputable that have a longer track record than the ones here in Virginia. Actually getting all the facts now. So some people are thinking about getting solar. They're doing their research, their due diligence. So that's good. That's something I probably should have did a better job of for sure. If I were smart, I would have done more research. The cost is so prohibitive that I'd be dead before it was paid off. So I must be an older person there. Listening for more information. When the roof has to be replaced, the solar has to be removed, and after the new roof is completed, reinstalled. That's true. That's why I figured, we got a brand new roof. Now's the time to do solar. So I played it in my calculus a little bit right there for sure. I have a family who are real estate agents. They say do not get solar because it's a lose-lose for the homeowner. I've heard this as well. Like if you're going to sell your house and you have solar on your roof that's not even paid off, then that's a lien on the house, essentially. You have to pay that off. So that you take that off your profit whenever you sell your house, because you got to pay that debt off before the new owners buy. You would think some people might think it's like an asset. It's not an asset. It really is not. Just, you have this thing drilled into your roof. Who knows what? Assume if it's done right, but still it's like a debt. So it's not really played into the part of when it's appraised for how much it's worth and things like that. So if you're going to sell your house in the next few years, I would not recommend solar for show. I don't recommend it anyway, but definitely if you're not going to sell it. I have a family who are real estate agents. They do not get solar because lose-lose. Yep. Bad contractor or installation. I answered that. I said, it seems like it'd be a bad
installation. So, and the contractor went out of business. So it's both. Answer C, all of the above. Tesla with a Powerwall. That's what I initially plan on getting. I know who that is, my friend Chris. But he's a big Tesla guy as well. He owns a Tesla vehicle as well, just like me. But that's what I was thinking. Just get a Powerwall. It makes sense. I don't have to get a generator. If I ever lose power, I got the backup power and the Powerwall. And who knows? Maybe Tesla is a better solar company. Can't be worse, I don't think. So I got a friend here that says he works for a power company. It says he'd be interested in hearing the details. I sent him my details, and I haven't heard anything back. It's been over a week. So I guess that they can't do anything for me there. But this person says, I think it's about location. I live in San Diego. I produce way more than I use. I've not received a bill in 8 months, and my panels have been paid for since something about $50 to $60 a month. My panels have been paid for. There you go. So I guess that paid for itself in San Diego. So good for that guy. Yeah, since this slide is completely filled with screen captures, I'm just going to go incognito here. I guess I could put my picture over my picture there. It's a whole picture of me from, was this 2024? So it's like 12 years ago when I was in Nairobi, Kenya. So when I was in the Navy. All right. I really think it's about location. I live in San Diego. Okay, I already read that one. And somebody says, I agree. My electric bill used to be around $700 a month. Wow, I've never paid $700 for electricity in my life. We keep our home around 68 to 70. Wow, again, I don't keep it that cold. It's freezing cold. Since then, I have an EV and drive 5 days a week to San Diego from Temecula. We calculate how many panels to keep my home to the temperature I like in the community. My bill this month was $2. Last month it was negative $35. So it's negative $2 and negative $35. Previous month it was about negative $70. My last true up bill was around $200, but now I'm negative since I have the panels for the entire period. It was worth it for my family, especially since I don't have to pay for gas to commute to San Diego. So And it sounds like it works for them. Other than being on the roof, the setup for the solar is pretty straightforward. Panels can get dirty. Connections being at the beach can be corroded. Cleaning can probably fix a lot, but getting up in the roof is not cool. Old school ETS, electronics technician in the Navy, can isolate and troubleshoot it. It might not be an easy fix. It might be an easy fix of the roof, minus the roof, but I hate going aloft. So this is like a friend of mine from the Navy who's not even in the area, but just saying, hey, maybe an electrician go up there and just clean that stuff off. But is this apparently a string issue? This is something that Solar Edge, they've also communicated this as like their assessment as well. So I think the Soul Orphanage folks, they got access to my Solar Edge. I gave them the access, and then they communicated with Solar Edge, and that's why. So I've heard it from 2 people that it's this string issue. Whatever that is, I don't know a lot about it, but right now it costs $3,000 to fix. We have solar and have no issues, and seller credits to Ohio and Maryland for cash money, yo. Whoa, I remember when you got it and the excitement and confidence you had in the system. I know, I feel freaking like an idiot. I'm very curious of your first-hand experience, so I'm giving it to you right now. I'm sorry that it seems that it's not going good. Now, it doesn't seem like it's going good. Too bad. Solar is great and love it on our house. Has it. We have had solar for 3 years now. Never had an electric bill. We do not pay $300 a month for solar. We love it. We do pay $300 a month. So they pay $300 a month. See, that's still way more than my electric. I don't know if I'm in a solar efficient house and just keep it warm. And we have gas heat. So I don't know. That seems like, I guess it would make sense there. I think that's some kind of manipulation there by the government to get you to go solar when they charge you that much for electricity. I shared your comments on this, minus the name, of course, on LinkedIn, and invited others to comment on their experience. Let's see what comments I get. I haven't heard anything from that guy. He's a neighbor. I know who that is. We started down a similar path, saw the contract agreement, abruptly went out and bought 20 cows. This guy's just being funny. Bought 20 cows, 30 diesel engines, plus cut down 20 acres of new trees just for spite. Oh, we strongly harassed a potted dolphin, and they started it. So he's just being funny. That's the guy I served in the Navy with. Good stuff. Dang, dude, sorry to hear that. The ones on the roof plug up to a computer that tells which ones are not working. I would talk to a lawyer about getting all your money back, lawyer costs, and paid financially for your time. And I said, the company went out of business. There's nobody to sue. And then my friend responds, if the business sold solar panels that did not operate and you believe this constitutes fraud or breach of contract, you might have grounds to sue the business or its owners personally, depending on the circumstances. Here's how. Fraud or misrepresentation. If the business intentionally misled you about the solar panels, you might have a cause for fraud. In such cases, you could pursue legal action against the business and potentially its owners if you can prove they were personally involved. Breach of contract. If the business failed to deliver on its contractual obligations, you could seek damages for breach of contract. If the business is closed, you might need to go after the owners if they have personal liability. Piercing the corporate veil. If you can show that the business was a sham or that the owners used the business to commit fraud or avoid obligations, a court might allow you to hold the owners personally liable. Personal guarantees. If the owners personally guarantee the business's obligations, they could be held personally responsible. You should consult with a lawyer who specializes in consumer protection or business law to assess the strength of your case and the best course of action. They are hiding behind an LLC that will not hold up in court. So thank you for that. And then there's one more Facebook comment or warning. I mentioned this before. This is from a real estate agent, a friend of a friend, and a friend of mine reposted this. Hello, if you're considering selling your home, do not put solar panels on it. So that's your warning right there. And I mentioned that already once this time. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. For all you residential real estate needs, please consider using the mother of my children, Ellen Lamb. She's mean to me, but she will do a good job for you. Plus, the more she is busy with real estate, the less time she has to beat me up. Help a brother out. Come on now. And there's her information. Thank you again for joining me. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.